together in one show. A night of music, ministry, and more. Thursday, April 26th, 7 p.m. at the SIU Arena in Carbondale. Tickets are available online at SIUtickets.net and the SIU Arena box office. An unforgettable night with family and friends. The Joy Unleashed Tour with Skillet and For King and Country. Thursday, April 26th, 7 p.m. at the SIU Arena in Carbondale. Presented by local Christian radio, 90.9 The Vine.
90.9 The Vine, in conjunction with AreaSports.net, proudly presents The Sports Couch. The Sports Couch is the area's only locally produced weekly sports show that is live on FM radio and also streamed live on both of our websites at AreaSports.net and WVYN.org. Who will be on the couch this morning? Let's find out. The Sports Couch is on the air right now. And hello again, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Couch. 90 minutes of great local sports talk here on The Vine and on AreaSports.net. I'm Randy Olson in studio along with Danny Anselment. And Danny, here we are winding down the regular season. In fact, all the teams in Class 1A and 2A wrapped up their regular season last night. They're ready for postseason starting Monday.
You know, it don't hardly seem like basketball season should be over with, but we're at the end of the run.
And we're going to talk about some of those postseason matchups here coming up in 1A, 2A, as well as 3A matchups as well. On the show with us this morning will be Doug Creel of the Mount Vernon Rams. Mount Vernon will host a regional for the first time in a long, long time. This is the second year in their new gymnasium, but first time that they've hosted a regional there. And they will have Centralia in that regional, and they'll have a first-round matchup with the Heron Tigers in that regional. We'll talk to Doug about that and about their win last night on the road at Belleville-Althoff.
It's always good to get a win, let alone on the road in the South 7, so he's got to be pretty happy with his team's play.
Jeff Morris, the head coach of the Wayne City Indians, you and I did that game last night. Wayne City defeated Waltonville by 10 points. That was win number 21 for the Wayne City Indians, and I think that's probably been a surprise for a lot of people, a pleasant surprise, in fact. And we'll talk to Jeff Morris about last night's win and about what things look like for the Indians moving into 1A regional play. So that's coming up. Also, Tyler Mitchell, the head coach of the Odin Eagles. He's done a good job up there this year. They won again last night. I think they finished the regular season 16-10.
Yeah, you know, he moved from Waltonville to Odin, and he's taken a team that was kind of in rebuild mode and done a pretty good job up there.
So we'll talk to Tyler about the season so far for Odin and look ahead to postseason for them as well. Coach Ron Winemiller of the Benton Rangers joins us this morning as well. They lost a tough one last night, but they've had a great season, certainly. And we'll talk to Ron about not only the season, but look ahead to the 2A regional for him.
3A.
Or 3A, that's right, 3A. They'll go back to 2A next year, though, right?
Next year.
Yeah, but 3A this year. Boy, if they were 2A, they would really be dangerous this year, wouldn't they?
The last 2 years.
Last 2 years, if they were 2A, they would be dangerous. That's right. But they are, in fact, 3A, and they'll be going into that Carbondale regional.
Carbondale is the number 3 seed in that complex.
So we will talk to Ron about that. Coach Phil Leib of the Flora Wolves, they wrapped up their regular season last night, lost a tough one to the Red Hill Salukis, but they've had some real quality wins here as of late. We'll talk to Phil about the season and, again, look ahead to postseason for him as well. And Josh Bradley, they'll be the number 1 seed in their regional, El Dorado Eagles. They did get beat earlier this week to Murfreesboro, but they've had an incredible year.
Yeah, I think that loss was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, yeah. But they won last night and
they
beat Edwards
County
yeah.
by 30 last night.
Well, kind of a nice tune-up then, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're the number 1 seed at the Fairfield Regional.
Uh-huh.
So look for them to make a run deep in that postseason.
They certainly have the horses to do it with. So Danny's going to go through our scores, which you can also find on our website. He'll go through those right now, conference by conference, and then we'll get our first guest on the line.
All right, from the Midland Trail last night, it was Wayne City 56, Waltonville 46, and a game I would have liked to saw. Non-conference was Cairo 81, Woodlawn 73. Cairo scored 32 points in the fourth quarter to win that basketball game. Weber Township 54, Sisney 34, Odin 86, Grayville 50, Christ Our Rock 76, Sandoval 43. From the Black Diamond, Carmi defeated Fairfield 59-48. Johnson City holds off Hamilton County 49-47. El Dorado 63, Edwards County 33, Chester 59, Cesar 56, and that was at Cesar, so a big win by Chester. Christopher 90, ZR 45, Goreville 58, Trico 48. From the South 7, Mount Vernon goes to Altoff, picks up a big win, 58-44. Marion spoils Carbondale's chance to be the reigning champion of the
sole winner. Mm-hmm.
Sole winner of the South 7. They now share with Centralia after a 56-53 loss in overtime. Centralia defeated Cahokia 50-42. From the River to River, Murfreesboro beat Benton in overtime last night, 52-47. Nashville 52, DuQuoin 42. Pinckneyville all over Carterville, 84-37. AJ beat Sparta 67-58. Harrisburg defeats Heron at home 68-64 in overtime. And West Frankfort 47, Massac 39.
And then definitely worth mentioning there, the game from the Cahokia Conference, the Salem Wildcats beat Carlisle on the road last night, coming from behind to win at the buzzer 50-48. The Wildcats win the title in the Cahokia Conference in their first year of the conference. Andy Fehrenbacher doing a great job.
What a way to go and make a statement.
That's right. And I'll tell you, if Salem was a 2A team, they would be really dangerous in the 2A
yes,
bracket.
They would be.
But they are, in fact, 3A, and they'll be in that regional at Mount Vernon. And last night, of course, as you said, in the South 7 Conference, the Rams went on the road at Belleville-Altoff and pick up the victory, 58-44. And a very happy Doug Creel joins us right now this morning. Good morning, Doug. How are you?
Good morning, guys.
Good. Great to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us. And congratulations on the win last night, 58-44 at Belleville-Altoff. That feels good to go over there and get another win.
You darn right. Feels good to get a win. Feels good to get another conference win and be 4-5, and we got a chance with Cahokia coming in next Friday to be 500 in the league and finish in third place.
That's right.
So, a great win for us.
You also got the Benton Rangers coming in on Tuesday night, which will be definitely a good test for you. They've been having a great year, and of course they're 3A, and they will be going to that Carbondale regional later on. So you got a couple of big games next week.
Yeah, we do. The good thing is we got them at home, and Benton's a very, very good basketball team. The kids play very well. They're having a great year. So, we'll have to play well Tuesday and Friday to get wins. But I feel like we're playing pretty good basketball, and we're playing good basketball at the right time of year.
That's exactly right. Well, from my understanding, you shot the lights out last night at Altoff. I think from inside the arc, you shot over 70% last night. That'll win you some games.
Well, some of that was we got to the rim. It was kind of both games were kind of wild. They were pressuring us and after us, and they do a lot of dribble driving on the other end and kicking, and but we got to the rim a lot, and we made enough plays to be successful, and it was a good win. On the road, I feel like we played well on the road this year.
Yeah, I think the maturity level of Amir Spann has really developed over the year. He is a much, much better, more mature player now this time of the year than what he was at the beginning of the season. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. People forget he's just a sophomore. He's getting better. I feel like he's getting better. He's gotten a lot better. His fundamentals have gotten better. His just understanding of when to try to make a play and when not to. Every now and then he gets a little excited. He's been very coachable, and he's been a good teammate. So he's come a long way. He wants to be coached. He wants to be good, and he's made a lot of big strides. He's made a big difference in our team.
Big game last night for Weston Brockhouse. He led everybody in scoring last night and really used his size to his advantage. And, of course, he can hit that jumper from outside, too. So big game for Weston last night.
Yeah, he did a great job. He ran the floor. He got some easy baskets. He got to the rim, and that always helps. And we also need his perimeter shooting, and we need him to get hot at the right time. I felt like Lucas Cooper had a good game, hit some big threes, and I just felt like our whole team, Zach and O'Shea, I felt like everybody played well last night and contributed. And like I said, I feel good about the way we're playing. We could play well Tuesday and could nip us, and we could play well Friday. But I feel like we're playing good basketball. I feel like our kids, after we're in our fourth month, are still excited about playing, and I feel like we got things to play for. We're trying to get to assure us the 500 season after winning only 8 last year. I feel like we got a chance to be. We can beat Cahokia. We're third in the conference, finished 5-5, and I heard you guys talking, but Centralia is now ahead in the conference. Carbondale's got 2 losses and Centralia's got 1. So if Centralia can win next Friday with Marion coming to their place, they're going to be conference champs. But,
they've guaranteed themselves at least a share, but you're right, can win it outright. Can win it outright against Marion, right? They're probably sending thank you cards down to Gus Gillespie after that win last night, don't you imagine?
Yeah, they might be. They might be. And, hey, you know what? With basketball, it's a crazy sport. You try to control what you can, and if you don't play well or shoot well, hey, you can get beat. I was listening to your scores. Massac beat Heron really bad, and then I think you just said West Frankfort beat Massac.
Right.
Hey, things are up and down. Heron's a very good basketball team. We've got them in the first round of the regional at our place.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, they beat us. They take Benton to overtime. They beat Harrisburg. They take Harrisburg to overtime. They're a very dangerous basketball team because they can handle it, shoot it, put it on the floor. So you never know.
Yeah.
You kind of control what you can, and then you hope things work out.
Doug, you're right. In the game of this basketball, all it takes is somebody to be off a little bit one night or miss a couple crucial free throws at a bad time of the game and something like that, and next thing you know, you end up going home with a loss.
Oh, for sure. There's just a lot of good teams, a lot of good coaches. Southern Illinois, is a hotbed for basketball, and the mature teams that are really good, that love to play, can be a little bit more consistent maybe than some of us others. But I feel like we have played here the last month pretty consistent, even though Carbondale nipped us, Centralia nipped us, Herring got us, but I feel like we have played pretty good basketball, and I hope we can continue for another week or two.
Yeah, well, you mentioned you got Herring in the first round of the regional. The Rams will host the regional this year at the new Chagnon Gymnasium. It's the first time we've hosted a regional in many years. What are we going back to, like 2002 or something? It's been a long time, hasn't it?
I said 5, but it may be 2002. I think it was when Parker was a senior.
Mm-hmm.
We played Bell Middle West in the regional championship at Chagnon, and we have not hosted since. So it'll be nice playing at home.
Yeah, it will. So you got the Heron Tigers in the first round, and the winner of your game gets Centralia in the semifinals. And then on the other side of the bracket, you got Salem and Murfreesboro. Murfreesboro playing really well right now. They beat Benton last night.
They've won 11 out of 11, and they're 11-3 since Christmas.
Is that right? Wow, 11-3 since Christmas is Murfreesboro. So yeah, they're playing Salem in the other bracket.
Salem's playing good basketball too.
Oh, Salem's playing great basketball. Yeah, they just won the Cahokia Conference last night, and they beat Trenton Westland twice this year. So,
well, it'll be a dogfight in our regional, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then on the other side down at Carbondale, you've got. Let me pull that up here.
Well, you got Carterville and Massac, I think, playing in the play-in.
Right.
They'll play, the winner got to play Carbondale.
Right.
Benton's playing
Marion. Yeah.
Benton's playing Marion.
Right.
Yeah.
And then another interesting wrinkle, too, in this whole sectional complex is the fact that East St. Louis has come back down to 3A this year. And they're the number 2 overall seed in the subsectional. So they are 3A this year. So that's,
isn't that great?
Yeah. That's good news for everybody, isn't it? And they'll get the winner of Breeze Mater Dei and Breeze Central in that regional. And that regional also includes the 3-seed Highland as well as Cahokia and Triad. So Cahokia and Triad will play in the first round. The winner gets Highland. So that's kind of how things are shaping up in our area as far as 3A basketball is concerned. So everybody.
Well, it's hard to believe that Randy, it's hard to believe that 1A and 2A are in postseason.
Oh, I know.
Coming up, and hey, we're down to our last week. I really don't know. It's been a grind, but I really don't know where the season's gone. It's just kind of flown by.
Yeah, that happens. It happens, and I think the older you get, the faster it does fly by. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
Well, Doug, we appreciate your time this morning. Again, congratulations on the win last night. Big win at Belleville-Altough.
Take care of us.
Yeah, enjoy that this weekend, and we'll talk to you later on, all right? Thanks.
All right, we'll see you guys down the line.
You bet. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Doug Creel, head coach of the Mount Vernon Rams, 58-44, the win last night on the road at Belleville-Altough. And again, if they can take care of Cahokia when they come to Shagnon this coming Friday night, the Rams could finish 5-5 in conference play, which would be really good. That South 7 Conference is definitely loaded. And, they took Carbondale to overtime last week. So, again, as he said, his Rams are playing some good basketball right now when you want to be playing good basketball.
Well, that's what you work to get to this point in the season, and that's when you want to be playing your best.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, when we come back, we're going to talk about the Wayne City Indians and look ahead to some of the 1A regionals in the area as Wayne City improved to 21-5 last night with their win over Waltonville in a game that many of you watched on AreaSports.net. We'll talk to head coach Jeff Morris coming up next here on The Vine and on AreaSports.net.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9, The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Underwriting on the Vine is provided by Roadhouse Harley-Davidson in Mount Vernon. When you're looking for competitive prices on quality Harley-Davidson motorcycles, look no further than Roadhouse Harley-Davidson in Mount Vernon. They have hundreds of new and used Harleys in stock and an incredible parts department as well. Plus, if you're looking for other Harley gear, such as shirts, hats, jackets, bandanas, and more, they have it. You'll love the selection and the price at Roadhouse Harley-Davidson, located on the frontage road next to the interstate in Mount Vernon.
Now is the time to get ready for the mowing season, and Ben's Lawn Service and Trailer Sales in Benton is the place to start. Ben's Lawn Service and Trailer Sales offers a full line of Skag commercial riding, stand-on, and walk-behind mowers with innovation and attention to quality that's second to none. Ben's Lawn Service and Trailer Sales backs what they sell with top-notch service, along with free delivery of your new Skag mower. Ben's Lawn Service and Trailer Sales is located at 605 North Main in Benton. Their phone number is 435-5296, and their website is benslawnservice.com.
Are you going out of town for a vacation or a weekend getaway? What are you going to do with your dog? That's easy. There's Jagger's Doggy Daycare in Mount Vernon. Jagger's Doggy Daycare is your one-stop shop for overnight dog boarding, doggy daycare, as well as dog grooming and obedience dog training. It's your dog's home away from home, and they will thrive, and they'll get one-on-one attention by a great staff. More information is available on the web at jaggersdoggydaycare.com. Jagger's Doggy Daycare, 414 Main Street in Mount Vernon. Welcome back to the Sports Couch. You're live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. We have live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net and live audio streaming on the Vine website at WVYN.org, and of course through the Vine mobile app too. If you just search WVYN and download the free Vine mobile app, you can listen that way as well. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment. A lot of basketball around the area last night, and we're looking forward to Class 1A and 2A postseason beginning next week, as the Wayne City Indians were winners last night over Waltonville in a game that many of you watched live with our video streaming on AreaSports.net. They got a 10-point win last night at home on senior night against Waltonville. And joining us right now is head coach Jeff Morris of the Indians. Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Good to have you on the show. Good win last night for your Indians. And, hey, 21 wins on the season. That's what a year you've had. It's been great.
Yeah, somebody would have told us we would win 21 games going into this year. I probably would have laughed. But, we've played well all year, won a lot of games. And, it's been a good year so far.
Yeah, I would have been right there with you. There's no way I thought that you're going to win 21 games this year. I'll just be real honest with you. I mean, myself and many others that we talked to, we thought, if you could have a 500 season, that'd probably be a good year at Wayne City this year. But I'll tell you what, they have really reached beyond all expectations, and it's been a fun ride. And hey, it's not over yet.
No, we got postseason coming up. We're looking forward to that. We had a lot of things we weren't sure about going into this year, but the kids have stepped up, rose to the occasion, and I couldn't ask for a better season so far.
Yeah, last night, of course, you take on Waltonville, and I got to give Waltonville credit. They really fought you hard last night, and I think you got up by as many as 19 points in that fourth quarter, and they came roaring back and got it down to 8, but you held on and won it by 10. But you can tell that Travis Dickey is starting to get in better shape since coming back from that stress surgery. He had a lot more gas in the tank last night than what he had last week against Woodlawn, didn't he?
Yeah, he's coming along. We started by playing him in some JV games, give him some minutes, give him some game action back, and I think that's helped get him back in playing shape. His kick and shoot, and he's starting to feel comfortable out there, and he has his legs back. So he's going to be a big addition. And right now we're just trying to piece it back together because I got 8-9 kids that can play, so we're trying to find a rotation again. So, but I give Coach Lowry credit last night. His kids came out and they fought, and they did a lot of nice things, and they really battled us. So, Waltonville played hard last night.
I thought they dictated the pace very much to their pace of the game in the first half, Coach, and then you come out after halftime and your team put that run on there and used that press. You even extended that pressure a little bit more and got you some easy buckets and kind of took control of the game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They tried to slow it down that first half, and they did a good job of not turning it over, and we got a little impatient. I thought we tried to hit home runs, and we just need to chip away, and we're trying to make the big play rather than just make little plays at a little at a time, and we just got a little impatient. And, you got to give Waltonville credit. They like I said, they came out and they battled. They had a good game plan, and we finally our pressure was able to get to them well that second half.
Well, about 10 days ago, a game that we did there at your place, Wayne City hosted Woodlawn, and that was a game that just kind of got away from you as Woodlawn shot the lights out that night, making 10 threes and just played really good basketball. And even though that was a tough loss and a double-digit loss, it's games like that where you actually learn a lot about your team, and it's a coachable moment, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Woodlawn's a tough matchup. I mean, both times we played them, they beat us pretty handily, and those are games that you can go back to the tape and look and see what you're doing wrong and what you can improve on. And they're so well coached and they're just well disciplined, and they do so many things right. You can't have a bad night against them and expect to compete.
Well, coming up, it's the Class 1A regional, and it's of course going to be played down at NCOE. And your first round matchup is Grayville. You come in as the 5 seed overall, and Grayville's the 13 seed. It's a game that you should win on paper, but the games are not played on paper. You got to go out there and you got to execute, don't you?
Absolutely. It's postseason. We talked about last night that it's one game at a time. If you lose, you're done, and you can't look past anybody at this point. Everybody's gonna come out. They're gonna play for their life, and we're just gonna take it one game at a time. Hopefully, we get past them Monday and move on to Wednesday.
And if you do, on Wednesday, you would have a rematch with the Weber Township Trojans, a team you've played a couple times this year. It's always a nail-biter when you play them, and so it might get to that point again on Wednesday. But like you say, you can't look past Grayville on Monday.
Yeah, I try not to look past Grayville, but I hope we can get to Wednesday because we've had a few good matchups with Weber, and I think it'd be another good one. So, but like you said, we're going to look at Grayville first on Monday, and then if we win, we'll move forward. And
the other side of the bracket, you got Galatia against Norris City in the opening round game, with the winner of that one getting Christopher on Tuesday. So Christopher comes in as the top seed there, with Weber as the 4 seed. And that's how it plays out. And again, those fans that are listening right now, if you can't make it down there to NCOE for the game on Monday night, and some of the rest of those games down there, Danny's going to be down there doing those games on foxesfans.net. I will be elsewhere at other regionals on AreaSports.net, but Danny will be down there on foxesfans.net to bring all the Wayne City fans the games down there. So we look forward to that. When they released all the pairings and the brackets and things like that for 1A, was there anything that really surprised you at all, Jeff?
Honestly, our little sectional is, Southern Illinois is so well balanced. There's a lot of really good teams. We didn't know who was going to go where. was kind of surprised on a couple of locations on some teams going different places. But when the seeds came out, I knew they could go anyway. Just kind of depends on how the coaches voted, and there wasn't a big surprise, but I mean, it's just kind of. I think there's a lot of teams who are capable of getting down to Carbondale, and it should be a good tournament.
Well, Meridian is the number 2 seed, and they will host the regional. But one thing they did is they kept Cairo and Meridian away from each other in terms of the regional, so they wouldn't meet each other until later on down the road. And Cairo is the 1 seed overall, so they did keep them separated, and that's probably a good thing.
Well, actually, it was actually the other sub-sectional. They're the 1 seed in our.
That's right. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
In our sectional, it's Christopher. So, but then they. Once the sectionals got seeded out, then they split the sectionals up. So, you got Christopher as the 1 seed in our side, and then you got, like you said, Caro did 1 seed in the other, but then they kind of flip-flopped everybody. So, that'd be a possible sectional matchup. At this point, who knows who's going to be there at that? But it's like I said, it should be a good tournament.
Yeah, that regional with Cairo as a 1 seed there, that's going to be played at Gallatin County, and meanwhile the other regional where Cesar is number 2 seed overall. It's going to be played at Ziegler-Royalton, and that regional is pretty loaded. You got Woodlawn's in that regional, and of course Thompsonville, Alvarado, Steelville, Waltonville, and Ziegler-Royalton. So that's going to be a pretty dicey regional there. Yeah,
I'll tell you what, Steelville's not a team to sleep on. I mean, their records. If you look at the teams they play, they're a really good ball team. They could have been capable of getting seed top 4 as well, and I look at them and possibly make some noise. They're a sleeper, and I wouldn't sleep on them at all.
Yeah, well, even Thompsonville has had some good wins this year, and is dangerous when they play well. I mean, that's a team you don't want to just look past for sure.
Absolutely, they got a lot of size, and they've gotten a lot better since the beginning of the season. I think they end up winning their conference tournament as well. So, I mean. Once again, you got some teams playing good basketball. There's just a lot of really good teams, and just whoever's night it is, or whoever gets hot, come out of the regional and make some noise.
Well, it really comes down to execution, limiting the turnovers, and you got to stay out of foul trouble, don't you?
Yeah, and the turnovers, and we got to play a little more disciplined. We play fast, but then sometimes we need to slow it down a little, and we continue to play fast. And I make examples. Sometimes we play like we're 10 points down always, and that's not always a good thing, especially when you're trying to close out games. And, we've had a little problem with that last month, finishing games off, where we've had good leads, and then we just kind of, I don't know if we let off the gas or if we just we play a little careless, and we just got to get a little better at that, and for us to do anything come tournament time.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson King's got to stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah, he's our floor leader, and we've talked about this before, and he does so much for our team, and whenever he gets in foul trouble and he's not on the court, we don't play as smart always, and he's just a leader for us, and he does so many things that aren't in the stat book that that show up on the court for us. But yeah, he's got to stay out of foul trouble for sure.
Yeah, I thought that was part of the problem in the first half last night. He set about a quarter and a half there last night, picked up a kind of a silly foul 75 feet from the basket reaching in, and just fouls like that's got to drive you crazy as a coach, knowing how important he is to your team.
Yeah, you don't want to tell a kid not to be aggressive, but you got to be smart too. We need him on the court to be successful, and whenever you pick up like you said, 75 feet from the basket, that's not a good foul, and he's got to know when he's already got one, he can't pick up that second in the first half, because you pick up that second, you've got to sit, and because we can't afford to have him pick up 3 in the first half, but. Hopefully he can learn from it, and, we don't have that issue come regionals.
I thought that looking throughout the season and having done several of your games this year, I think Remington Henson has improved a lot during the year, too. He's gotten a little bit more aggressive. He's gotten a little bit better with his footwork inside, and he's just a better player here at this time of the year than what he was at the beginning of the season.
Oh, yeah, he's really worked at it. He's battled with some ankle injuries, and, his footwork has really come along. We work on it every day, and he really puts in the effort and the time, and he's become a nice offensive threat for us. At the beginning of the year, he was more of a rebounder, space taker, and stuff. But now, we try to use him on the post as much as we can to get some touches, because he's a load down there. He's tough to stop.
Yeah, he really is. All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate your time this morning. Again, congratulations on the win last night, win number 21 for your Wayne City Indians, and we look forward to seeing what happens in postseason, and it all begins for you next week down at NCOE as you take on Grayville, and good luck as you prepare for that game, all right?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, take care. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye. As head coach Jeff Morris of the Wayne City Indians, and again, they've got the team, they've got the horses where they could make a run and go deep. Could have a rematch with the Weber Township Trojans, and that's a team that they've played twice this year, and it's always a nail-biter when those two get together, and if they play again on a neutral court, who knows what'll happen.
That'll be a big game if they can make that happen on Wednesday night down there.
And I'm sure if you're Coach Brad Beatty and you're the Weber Trojans, you're kind of chomping at the bit to play. He's got to sit there and watch and wait until Wednesday before they can play, and I'm sure they're eager to get on the court in postseason themselves and get after it. So,
well, sometimes the rest at this point in the season is also good, but the anticipation of waiting and seeing is also pretty tough.
Yeah, it is. Well, we're going to visit next with Tyler Mitchell, head coach of the Olden Eagles. They have had a good season this year, and they got another win last night. We'll talk to him about that coming up next on the Sports Couch. Stay tuned.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
This is your home for best Christian music.
WVYN, Blueford, Wayne City, Fairfield, Mount Vernon.
And now on Translator, W288CO Centralia, broadcasting at 105.5.
A service of Real Life Radio Foundation.
The best Christian music, 90.9 The Vine.
Real Life Radio thanks Fairfield Printing and Graphics for their partnership in local Christian radio ministry. Fairfield Printing and Graphics offers custom sizing for banners and signs, as well as yard signs, corrugated signs, and metal signs. Fairfield Printing and Graphics also specializes in custom t-shirts, business cards, wedding invitations, hats, bags, and much more. They are located at number 5 Williamson Drive in Fairfield, and their phone number is 842-4048.
You've heard the old saying, practice makes perfect. Well, there's actually a lot of truth to that, and you can get one-on-one instruction in baseball, softball, basketball, as well as speed and agility drills at the Sports Zone in Fairfield. The Sports Zone has been in business for quite some time now and has helped many area boy and girl athletes excel in their sport of choice. Lessons and practice times are available at convenient times that meet your schedule. The Sports Zone is located on Delaware Street in Fairfield, and we appreciate their support.
Music and ministry on the Vine is provided by Tony Wilt State Farm Insurance Agency in Mount Vernon. Tony Wilt State Farm Insurance Agency specializes in providing your life, health, auto, and home insurance, as well as complete financial services. They are located at 4121 South Water Tower Place in Mount Vernon. Their phone number is 242-1421, and their website is tonywilt.com. We are grateful for their underwriting support.
Hey, welcome back to the Sports Couch. You're live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. We have live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net and live audio streaming at WVYN.org. And, of course, you can listen on the Vine mobile app, too. Just download the WVYN mobile app for your mobile device. Well, we're trying to connect here with Coach Tyler Mitchell of the Olden Eagles. I have a feeling that his ringer might have been off on his phone, so we did leave him a message, and hopefully he will call us back here in a little bit. We'd like to talk to him about the success of his Olden Eagles this year. They got a win last night over Grayville. I think they're like 16-10 on the season, and won another tournament, I think, earlier this year, and so he's had a good season up there. He used to coach at Waltonville, of course, and Olden is one of those teams that, they're dangerous. Particularly come postseason. You never know, Danny.
You just never know, and in this 1A basketball, those teams match up pretty good night in, night out.
Yeah, they do. I'm trying to look at the bracket here and find out exactly where they're going. I think they went north a ways because of where their location is at. Trying to look on the bracket there for.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they're going either. Looking at some scores from last night around the area. Alt Marquette 42, Jabot 25, Oakville 55, Breeze Central 47. Casey Westfield defeated Effingham St. Anthony 73-70. Crab Orchard over Hardin County 62-52. Glacia, team that'll be down there at North City on Monday night, they defeat Carrier Mills 62-58. Meridian 67, Egyptian 49. Mount Carmel Golden Aces defeat Washington, Indiana last night 65-45. North Clay 49, South Central 48. T-Town 82, Madison 51. That T-Town team's another one of those teams that just keeps rolling along.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
And Thompsonville defeated NCOE last night on senior night at Thompsonville 44-37.
All right, and I found it here. They are going to the Patoka Regional. So Odin will play Sandoval in the first round of the Patoka Regional. They are the 4 seed. And they are in the same bracket with South Central and Patoka.
That's nice. Those two schools are about 5 or 6 miles apart.
Yeah.
I don't imagine they really hate each other or anything.
And I'm sure they're best of friends.
Yeah.
They'll be holding
hands. They may ride the bus together.
They'll be holding hands out there on the court. Dietrich's the number 1 seed in that Patoka Regional. On the other side of that bracket, you've got Christar Rock against North Clay with the winner getting Dietrich. I'm looking at that regional, Danny, and, there's nobody that's just super powerful in that regional. I mean, those teams are all very similar. Even the records are going to be similar. Anybody can come out of that regional.
Yeah.
And I think this Odin team's got the possibility of winning it.
It's just whoever puts 2 or 3 good games together.
Yeah. That gym's not very big at Patoka. It doesn't hold too many people. Man, if you're going to a regional there at Patoka, you better get there early. That's a small gym.
Ziegler Royalton's kind of the same way.
Yeah, it's a small gym. Wow, that's
now NCOE's got a great facility down there.
They do.
That's a good place to host a regional.
They really do. Again, we're trying to connect with Tyler Mitchell here of the Odin Eagles to talk to him about his team. I believe they're 16-10 after their win last night, and again, they're going to take on Sandal in the first round of the regional. There's 2 games there on Tuesday night at that Patoka regional. You got the Odin Sandoval game. You got South Central against Patoka. I don't know where all those fans are going to sit, unless a lot of fans clear out after the first game. That's a small. I'm telling you, that's a small gym.
Well,
if we were gonna broadcast up there, seriously, I don't know where we would sit.
You get a good seat by getting there early.
Well, that's how it's done, isn't it? That is how it's done. You gotta love postseason basketball, though. No, you really do. But in years past, Dietrich being the number 1 seed there, you go ahead and just pencil them in and move them on to the sectional. But this Dietrich team this year is not the same Dietrich team that we've seen in years past. So they're not that dominant team. So even though they're the 1 seed, they're not necessarily going to win that thing.
Well, I would think a lot of those teams you just read off there would have to be feeling like, hey, we've got a legitimate chance at this.
Yeah. I think Christar Rock is a dangerous team.
They
could win
have played good basketball all season.
Yeah, they could win that. They could win that tournament. I think that anything is possible. So that is a real interesting regional. Another one we want to take a look at is the regional at Hudsonville, and that's where they've sent Sisney this year. Sisney's going to play Oblong in the first round, with the winner getting Altamont in the semifinals. And then the other side of that bracket is going to be Martinsville against Hudsonville, with the winner getting St. Elmo. So you got Altamont and St. Elmo with first-round byes in that regional at Hudsonville.
Altamont's probably the favorite there.
They would be the favorite, at least on paper. Yeah,
they've had a good season, and I know they have some aspirations of a pretty deep run.
Mm-hmm. And so that's how that's shaken out here in Class 1A. Danny, if you want to try it again from the top on those scores, I'll try one more time with Tyler.
All right. From the Midland Trail last night, it was Wayne City 56, Waltonville 46. Cairo goes to Woodlawn in a non-conference game last night. That could be possible sectional matchup. 81-73, the Cairo Pilots. They scored 32 points in the fourth quarter to pull out a victory there last night. Weber Township 54, Sisney 34. Odin 86, Grayville 50, Crystal Rock 76, Sandoval 43. From the Black Diamond, Fairfield loses on senior night to Carmi. They defeated Carmi last week at Carmi's senior night. Carmi returned the favor last night, 59-48. Hamilton County didn't make free throws. They lose to Johnson City last night, 49-47. El Dorado 63, Edwards County 33. Chester 59, Cesar 56. Christopher 90, ZR 45. Goreville 58, Trico 48. From the South 7, Mount Vernon goes to Althoff and gets a big win, 58-44. Marion defeats Carbondale in overtime, 56-53. Centralia 50, Cahokia 42. From the river to river, Murfreesboro beat Benton 52-47 in overtime. Nashville 52, DuQuoin 42. Pinckneyville 84, Carterville 37. AJ 67, Sparta 58. Harrisburg 68-64 over Heron in overtime, and West Frankfort beats Massac 47-39. And at the Cahokia, Salem wins the Cahokia Conference 50-48 over Carlisle.
Yeah, that is a great win for Coach Andy Fehrenbacher and the Salem Wildcats. The first year in the Cahokia Conference, and they win it, having they're actually tied with record-wise with Trenton Westland in the conference, but they beat Trenton Westland twice. So they win the conference outright. And a big win on the road last night, scoring at the buzzer to beat Carlisle on senior night on the road last night, 50-48.
There was a lot of good games around last night, a lot of overtime games, and teams right now are playing pretty good basketball, and it's resulting in some awful close contests.
Well, Doug Creel, one of our earlier guests, was mentioned the fact that big win by West Frankfort last night. That perhaps was probably unexpected, that win by them over Massac County in the river to river, but you just never know. And this time of year, teams start to look for postseason and they elevate their game and they're working towards that goal. And that's a big win for the Redbirds last night over Massac.
They've played much better basketball since they left the El Dorado Holiday Tournament.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, yes, indeed, there's a lot of good basketball, and, of course, the postseason begins next week. And, again, we're trying to connect with Tyler Mitchell and waiting on a phone call back from him, as I'm thinking that his ringer must have been off, and he didn't get our call, but we've sent him a text as well, and not hearing from him. Some big college basketball games today. Number 2, Michigan State on the road at Northwestern. That's a trap game right there. That's a dangerous game for sure for them. Michigan State at 13-2 in the conference. Ohio State is now 13-2 as well after they lost earlier this week to Penn State for the second time, and then Purdue lost again, so they've dropped actually to second place in the Big Ten as they are 12-3. So really, if Sparty can win out, they could win the Big Ten conference. But Virginia is the number 1 ranked team in the country right now. They're 24-2 overall, and Villanova is 23-3. They're up there ranked number 3. Xavier's a dangerous team at 24-3. And then Cincinnati's ranked 5th at 23-3. How about Auburn winning the SEC conference this year? They beat Kentucky the other night, and Kentucky might be destined for the NIT this year, it looks like. But Auburn and Coach Bruce Pearl win the Southeastern Conference, and I'd say at the beginning of the year nobody thought that would happen, Danny.
Well, here's another one. Last night, the SIU Salukis go to Valparaiso, win 88-86 in 2 overtimes. 2
overtimes. How about that? Yeah, that's amazing. The Big Ten, you're looking at the Illinois Fighting Illini. They're in the cellar. They're 12-15 overall and 2-12 in the Big Ten. I realize that Coach Brad Underwood in his first year, and he didn't have any of his recruits in there yet. He's having to play with what was already there, the cards that were dealt him. But, boy, they're going to have to really add some players and make some changes up there at Illinois because the natives are getting restless. When you're in last place in the Big Ten, that's not good.
Well, you got to have some big guys on the inside. You can't be going and battling these teams with a bunch of undersized players.
Yeah, they have no size at all on the Illini, none.
And, Illinois has got to recruit some in-house kids.
Yeah.
they've got to get these state kids that are leaving and going and making impacts on these other players. And how that occurs, I'm not sure, but they're going to have to do a better job at keeping in-house talent.
Yeah, I agree they are, but definitely some changes. Definitely some changes going to have to be made for sure. Well, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll catch up with Coach Ron Winemiller of the Benton Rangers. They lost a tough one there last night, but I know they're looking forward to the final week of the season as well as postseason. We'll talk to him about all that next on the Sports Couch.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Choosing a construction company is a big decision because many companies come and go. That's why Greenwald & Sons Construction is a name you can trust. With over 40 years of experience, Greenwald & Sons Construction in Wayne City and Mount Vernon specialize in residential and commercial construction, as well as remodeling. They'll be happy to talk to you about a church addition, business expansion, or new home construction. Greenwald & Sons Construction, the experts you can depend upon. Their number is 895-2044.
Programming on 90.9 The Vine is underwritten by Provision Eye Care. Located in Mount Vernon, Provision Eye Care has a 90-year history of serving Jefferson and surrounding counties. They provide quality comprehensive eye exams along with diagnosing and treating eye disease. Provision Eye Care is located at 112 South 42nd Street, and their phone number is 244-0508. Dr. Jennifer Bass would like to share a passage from Proverbs 29:18. Where there is no vision, the people perish.
105.5 and 90.9 The Vine is thankful for the underwriting support of the Tin Shed in Wayne City. They are your source for primitive, country, and home decor in a wide selection to meet your decorating needs. The Tin Shed is located at 701 West Robinson in Wayne City, and their phone number is 895-2155.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and streaming live worldwide on both of our websites at AreaSports.net and WVYN.org. All right, we got our next guest on the line, and that is Coach Ron Winemiller of the Benton Rangers. Good morning, Ron. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Good to have you on the Sports Couch. A tough loss for your Rangers last night, but I'm sure that even in losses like last night, it's very much a teachable moment, and there's things that you can take out of that and build upon for next week on the stretch run before you get ready for postseason.
We sure hope so. That was a tough one last night, but we've been in so many of those games this year that our guys 9 times out of 10 have executed and done things exactly the way we needed them to be able to win. Last night was that 1 out of 10 where we didn't, and give Murfreesboro credit. Gaston made some really good plays down the stretch, and then they were able to get out of there with a win.
Yeah, 57-47, or 52-47 was the final in overtime. How many overtime games have the Benton Rangers been in this year?
I don't know, but we've lost 3 of them. So if it ends in 32 minutes, we got a pretty good record. So,
well, yeah, Coach, that says, you've got 4 losses on the season and 3 of them in overtime. That says you was pretty close to having a perfect season.
Yeah, it does. And, we've been 3 or 4 other games where we've made a shot or somebody's missed a shot at the horn to be able to win or, to win the game. So, we've had a lot of close games, and that's kind of – and we played like that all summer too. So we knew coming into the season it was going to be like that, and our margin for error was going to be pretty tight. And our guys have done such a good job of defending and rebounding that they've given themselves a chance to win some games that maybe on paper going in you didn't think they could.
Ron, that's been one thing that's been impressive with your team. I've seen you play several times this year. And really, you've got, for the competition you're playing, you're usually pretty undersized night in, night out. But your team just goes in there and competes and gets in people's faces and have been able to do the things you need to do to be victorious.
Well, and I think that this is a very probably it's very rare anymore. They don't like to lose, and it bothers them when they lose, and they're going to do what it takes to win. And as a result, they kind of will themselves to win games, and you just kind of shake your head and say, how did they do that? And I thought last night was going to be one of those games, and just a couple bad breaks down the stretch, and like I said, they were right there and gave themselves a chance. It just didn't work out last night.
Well, your team had clinched the conference championship before last night's game. You'd like to have that perfect run, but not to get lost. You're still conference champ in that river to river on the east side there, and that's quite an achievement in itself.
Yeah, that was one of our goals coming in. I think it's the first time in like 42 years that Ben has been back-to-back conference champs by themselves and didn't share it with anybody. So it's one of those things that we're happy that we won. We'd like to finish it off last night, but we've played 27 games, and we've had a really unbelievable run up to this point, and now we get 2 games to kind of prepare us for a 3A regional next week, and we're looking forward to those 2 as well.
So you're going to travel to Mount Vernon on Tuesday night to take on the Rams. What are you expecting there?
Oh, a very well coached team, and a team that's gonna really run their offense very well and make it hard for you to score. And it's one of those things that we know we're going to have to play well to go up there and give ourselves a chance to be in the game at the end.
And you're going to finish with Salem?
Salem at home, yeah.
Andy Fernbacher's got that team. They win that Cahokia Conference in their first season over there last night against a Carlisle team you seen. They hit a shot at the buzzer to win that thing. They have been pretty impressive this season.
Yeah, they're long, and they got some really athletic kids. And once again, we'll have our hands full playing Salem, and we've played them. This will be the 3rd year that we've played them. The first year was an overtime game that we won. Last year, we made a bunch of free throws in the last 45 seconds to kind of hold them off, and we kind of expect that again. I mean, it's been a really good series, and it's one that we look forward to continuing.
Then you're going to be the number 3 seed in your regional complexes. You're going to head down to Carbondale to take on Marion down there. Your thoughts about that?
Well, welcome to 3A. You're the 3 seed and you get to play Marion the first game. So we'll have our hands full. They bring a lot of length and a lot of athleticism, and Lacey and Lewis and Connor and Henderson's just so big and strong and physical in the post. And, we know it's not going to be easy, but I think it's also our guys. We talked about the draw with them on Thursday when we thought we knew who we were going to play, and we kind of shrugged our shoulders and said, just like last year. They weren't phased or intimidated, and it's what you kind of admire about these guys. We're going to play Marion, okay, that's fine. It's just another team to them. We'll prepare and we'll go play them. And we may get beat, but it's not going to be because they're all playing Marion, or if we win that one, if they're all playing Carbondale. Our guys just kind of take it one game at a time, and they're probably concerned about Mount Vernon more than anything right now, and then it'll be Salem after that, and that's kind of been their mentality, which I think's kind of kept their feet on the ground when things were going really good, and why they've had the success that they've had.
Well, that matchup with Marion will be a special time with you. You and Gus Gillespie have a pretty good relationship, and it'll be, I'm sure, some butterflies and things for you going against a guy you respect a lot.
Oh, sure. Anytime you get to play against a guy that you were set on his bench for 5 years, and I practically lived at his house, and he saw him go through the toughest thing that anyone could ever go through in losing a child, and saw how he and Jana handled that with such grace and class, and and to learn a lot about being a parent from him during that time. And yeah, it's one thing that I think people want to talk about it a lot and want to say, how's it going to be playing Gus? I don't think either one of us wanted this. You never want to have to end. He's going to end my season, or I'm going to end his. But that's the way it is, and we'll prepare, and he'll prepare, and whoever wins, we'll shake hands and at the end, and somebody will play on Friday.
Yeah, and Gus has got Marion playing really well last night. That's a huge win they got on the road at Carbondale last night, scoring there at the end to pull that one out.
Yeah, I was thrilled to see that. So.
Yeah.
No, that's a good win for them.
No, it really is. It really is, yeah.
And to be honest, they've you look at their record, they've played much better on the road than they have at home.
You're right. You're right. They have.
You know, I don't know what it is. I told them, I said, why don't we just come to your place and tell you?
All right.
Good thinking on your part, Coach.
Yeah. So, but he texted me about 10 minutes after the pennies came out, and, you know, we talked a little bit. It's one of those things that I think that, and his top assistant was the kid named Scott McKinney, and Scott was he was the point guard there when I left, and Scott was one of the toughest kids I ever coached. So I'm looking forward to that, but at the same time not looking forward to it. But yeah, that was a really big win for him. Now they got to go to Centralia next Friday. So
yeah, he'd like to go up there and replicate that effort, I'm sure, against that Centralia Orphan team.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Well, we appreciate your time this morning, Ron, and it's been a great season so far. It's not over yet. 2 big games next week as you got, again, Mount Vernon on the road Tuesday night, and that's going to be a good one. So best of luck as you prepare for that, and then we'll talk to you down the line, okay?
Okay, anytime, guys. Thanks
Take
for
care.
having me.
All right, you bet. Bye-bye. Bye. That is Coach Ron Winemiller of the Benton Rangers, and I think there's a lot of people that would say that Benton has probably overachieved this year. I mean, had a lot of talent coming back, but I don't know that anybody would think they would have over 20 wins at this point in the season. Ron has done a great job there, and his assistants, and boy, those guys are just tough as nails. And I like what he said there, and it's very true, that Benton bunch, they just don't like to lose. And because they don't like to lose, they will just use their gut, so to speak, and just pull some out sometimes just truly by gutting it out and doing what they can to find a way to scratch out a win. And a tough overtime loss last night to Massac County. And it's interesting that they've been in 3 overtime games that they've lost this year. Otherwise, they would have, nearly a perfect record. So the Benton Rangers are definitely a team to be dealt with, and it's going to be tough for anybody to play them down the stretch. There'll be a tough game Tuesday night, certainly at Mount Vernon, when they play them in regular season action at Shagnon Gym. And again, Benton draws Marion in the first round of the regional, which will be played at Carbondale. Benton comes in as the 3 seed. The other side of that bracket's got Massac County against Carterville, with the winner of that game playing the 2 seed Carbondale in the other semifinal. All right, well, when we come back, we're going to talk to Coach Phil Leib of the Flora Wolves, talk a little Illini Conference basketball. He had a tough loss last night against Red Hill. We'll talk about that and their postseason hopes coming up. Stay tuned.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Underwriting on 90.9 The Vine is provided by Bean Insurance of Mount Vernon. Everyone knows that they need insurance, but very few people want to shop for insurance. Well, the staff at Bean Insurance of Mount Vernon makes it easy. They help you understand your insurance needs and explain the different options that you have. Bean Insurance represents multiple lines of insurance to give you very competitive rates. Just look for the green roof at Bean Insurance, downtown Mount Vernon. They're on the web at beaninsurance.net.
It's coming, the Joy Unleashed Tour with Skillet and For King and Country. 2 of your favorite groups together in one show. A night of music, ministry, and more. Thursday, April 26th, 7 p.m. at the SIU Arena in Carbondale. Tickets are available online at SIUtickets.net and the SIU Arena box office. An unforgettable night with family and friends. The Joy Unleashed Tour with Skillet and For King and Country. Thursday, April 26th, 7 p.m. at the SIU Arena in Carbondale. Presented by local Christian radio, 90.9 The Vine.
Underwriting on the Vine is provided by B&C Bicycle Fitness in Mount Vernon. B&C Bicycle Fitness specializes in bikes for the beginning rider to the high-end racer and can equip you with a comfortable bike to enjoy a healthy, active lifestyle with family and friends. B&C Bicycle Fitness is a full-service bicycle shop and is located at 410 South 27th Street in Mount Vernon. Their phone number is 816-4077. B&C Bicycle Fitness in Mount Vernon, where the adventure begins.
Support for the Vine Radio Ministry is provided by Quinn Law and Mediation, LLC in Mount Vernon. When faced with a legal problem, you may try to navigate your way through the courts and all that paperwork on your own, only to discover that the legal arena is a lot more complex and involved than you expected. Every attorney at Quinn Law and Mediation, LLC in Mount Vernon has at least 15 years of experience, providing a variety of legal services to the entire Vine listening area. They are committed to helping clients find practical solutions to current legal problems. You can reach them at 242-9580 or visit their website at mountvernonlawyer.us. Welcome back to the Sports Couch. You're live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. We have live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net and live audio streaming at WVYN.org. And some of you also listening on the Vine mobile app. You can download the free Vine mobile app. Just search for WVYN where you download your apps. It's absolutely free, and you can listen online or take the Vine with you everywhere you go. Well, last night in Little Illini Conference basketball action, the Floor Wolves lost a tough one to the Red Hill Salukis, 58-47, the final. And joining us on the phone right now is head coach of the Wolves. That's Phil Leib. Good morning, Phil. How are you?
Hey, good morning. I'm blessed and well, thank you.
Well, you wrapped up the regular season last night. Tough loss to the Red Hill Salukis. I know you'd rather have finished off on a winning note, but again, you learned some things from some losses too, which I'm sure you'll take with you as you get ready to prepare for postseason.
Absolutely, and that's one thing I just encouraged the kids last night as we was talking after the game, and we just went through a grueling schedule here in the last 3 weeks. We played 9 games. It's 3 games a week, a lot of games back-to-back, and we just played, this past week, Fairfield on Tuesday night, and then Onley on Thursday night, and then we had Red Hill last night. So we had some tired legs out there a little bit. I thought mentally we broke down a little bit, and we didn't finish on layups, so we didn't hit shots we normally make. And then to top things off, we had about twice as many turnovers as we normally do, and that's not a good combination, especially when you're on the road. And we still was a 1-point ball game with about 4 minutes left, and lo and behold, they went on a little run. We just never recovered from that, and that's how we're out there with a loss. And the things we can learn from is we had some little momentum going with 3 W's with Paris, Fairfield, and Onley, and hopefully we carry that into next week.
Your team is going to face Edwards County at the Fairfield Regional on Monday night. That should be a good matchup between your two teams.
I think so, and that's like I've been telling people, and I think you guys would probably agree. Throughout the area, I mean, you got a couple of teams that are really kind of elite, and they kind of stand out by themselves, but everybody else, I really feel that can beat anybody on any other given night. I mean, they can play with about anybody on any given night, and that's the Wolves included. That's the Edwards County Lions included. I think that they, Coach Durlock done a good job with them. They played solid defense. They're not up and out there pressuring you, but that they make it very difficult for you from three-point line on in. And they have some inside game, and when they're hitting outside shots, boy, they're like anybody. They're a tough opponent to beat, and they'll be a tough out. So we'll have to play some good basketball. I mean, like everybody at this time of the year, you got to play some good basketball. Otherwise, you're going home. Yeah,
that other side of the bracket's really a coin flip, too, between Fairfield and Hamilton County. Either team could win that, and, in fact, they did split their meetings this year.
Well, yeah, and it's like a Black Diamond Invitational, and we're just kind of odd person out. We're just coming in for the party just to crash it. But,
I like that.
Yeah. But I like it. I like the Wolves' chances. I think that we're getting healthier. We battled through some injuries, and that took a toll on us quite a bit as far as the win-loss record. But at the same time, I think we learned some things about us, and other guys that had a chance to step up and get better with that. And hopefully, we're stronger because of that. But as we get healthier, I think and I hope and pray that we can make a little bit of a postseason run here, and it starts Monday night, and we can't look past anybody. We got to, scratch and crawl each and every possession, each and every, battle and offense and defense, and I said, Russ will make it difficult on us, but hopefully we can do some things to make it difficult on them too.
Well, let's back up and talk about some of your games earlier this week. What a game against Fairfield. That was like two separate games wrapped up in one. I mean, you're down by double digits by what, 18, 19 points. You come roaring back and go on a massive run of something like 24-2, I think. And anyway, you end up winning the game in double digits by 11. Walk us through that game. That was crazy.
It was crazy. And we came out, Scott went from man-to-man with us, and we did some good things on that, and we jumped on them, and they're just so athletic and big, and we was just trying to contain them, and they went to some 1-3-1, and we had some outside shots, which we're capable of doing, and all of a sudden they went in triangle 2, and we haven't seen that since the Van Day Holiday Tournament, so it kind of threw us off. We hadn't walked through it, prepared for it, took time out, and, whatever you can do for a teenage mind to walk them through in a timeout situation. We just kind of adjusted off of that, but we never did recover out of it. Next thing you know, we're struggling. We're down, I think, 16 going in the half, and then made some adjustments at halftime, and just told them, you're easy to guard. I mean, I could put my mom out there if you're going to sit there like a chair and just stand. I mean, we've got to get some movement. We got to get some cuts. We got to get some screens, and against that triangle too, we got to do something to get them out of that. And lo and behold, the Wolves caught fire, and we started making some adjustments. But we got down by as much as 18 or 19 early in that third quarter. But man, we started hitting some shots. We started attacking the basket. We started. I think we went on a 9-0 run. Then they scored, and we went on like another 9-0 run. That is like 18-2 at one time. Next thing you know, we're instead of being down 18 or 19, we end up winning by 11. I mean, it was like a 27-point swing, and that doesn't happen very often.
No.
And it was kind of nice for the Wolves to pull that out. I know that Coach McElroy was probably frustrated. I thought those boys, Fairfield, got a little tentative offensively. I think they got so much offensive power. They can score at will when they want to, but sometimes, we take ourselves out of it, and I think that they did that a little bit.
Well, I hope you wasn't planning on going to your mother's for lunch over the weekend.
No, but I tell you what, she can guard. we got our toughness from our dad, and a little bit of our enthusiasm from our mom. So it's a good combination. But I don't know if they were very athletic back in their day, but she could probably guard that kitchen table, I'm sure.
Well, I was asking somebody from Fairfield that I ran into at a gas station. I said, "So how'd the game go the other night up at Flora?" And he goes, "Well, the best part of the game was the Flora pep band." Said, other than that, Fairfield didn't play well, and the pep band at Flora is outstanding, which it is. Harry Pendry does an incredible job up there.
He does, and he does an amazing job, and Dave Kuntz helps him, which is they've been like Bert and Ernie, so to speak, for a few years now, and they've done an awesome job turning that thing around, and it's just a rocking place to be and a rocking place to play, and it's just a great atmosphere.
Yeah. Well, you eclipsed a special mark with eclipsing a special number in your coaching career up there. Talk about that. That happened here in the last few weeks.
As far as 300?
Yes.
Yep, that was back in December.
Oh, was it? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought that was just here in the last few weeks.
That's okay. But we had a win over Lawrenceville and my 300th win here at Flora.
Right.
I forget what it is total, but I really don't keep track much of that. But and not too many people knew that, and that's fine because it's not about me. It's about the kids. It's about honoring the program. It's about respecting the game of basketball. It's about glorifying God and the best ability I can do. But a lot of memories. It's kind of neat that the family was there, and we just kind of started talking about favorite moments, most memorable games, and it's just amazing to hear the different inputs and the opinions. And one thing that's been consistent is my wife's always been with me and by me and supporting me, and my kids has always been around me. And that's going to be different next year, Randy, and it's because my baby Owen, he's a senior,
right?
And so I won't have one like I've had the past so many years.
Right. It's going to be a lot different not having one of your own sons to coach there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It might be even more quieter at the supper table. I'm sure there's been some nights you went home at the supper table. It was things maybe not been so cushy, were they, Coach?
Oh, there's times, but some tense situations. But one thing that something I've done a great job with is when I'm coaching, but when I'm dad, I'm dad.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have that conversation from the high school to our house, which is about 3 minutes. It's only about a mile, maybe a half mile. and I say what I need to say. And we walk in that door, I really don't say too much anymore. And that's something I've always tried to do with my kids as I coach them. But I am hard on them when we're practicing, we're on the games. But at the same time, they're going to be my son a lot longer than they're going to be my player.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, Coach, that's when I coach my kids at the younger level. That was one of the biggest challenges for me was being able to turn it off when I went home.
Right.
Because I expected more out of them. I wanted them to perform at a high level. And you just have higher expectations for your own children, and sometimes you make it a little harder on them because you don't ever want people to say that you're showing them favoritism and things like that. And it does create a challenge, and I commend you being able to handle that and do the job you've done with your kids and had the success you've had. And 300 wins, that may not be a big deal right now, but when you sit back one of these days, you're going to be very appreciative of that.
Well, and I am. And I thank the good Lord above put me in a situation to have a positive influence in these young men's lives, and hopefully that they'll carry on that tradition with other people as they become fathers, they become husbands, and become good citizens in their communities. So, and that's what it's all about, and learning the game of basketball, but also learning more important principles in life that you can take on with you after you stop playing. Mm-hmm. But it's just something that awfully honored to be a part of and blessed with, to be here at Florida, Illinois, my alma mater, and just enjoy doing it, still love doing it, and still have a passion for it.
That's great. I know there on the north wall there of the gym, you guys are keeping track, though, of total team wins there in the history of Florida Wolves basketball. What's that number up to now, Coach?
We're at 1,613.
That's great.
And last time I checked, it was about a year or so ago, but I think we're in the top 25 in the state.
Good.
I mean, it's like I said, it's been a phenomenal blessing here at Florida. I mean, we've had great support, and athletes will come and go, but at the same time, the principles got to remain the same. So hopefully you just foster the success so other people that when they come into it, it's already there. It's the ground. You don't have to break any groundwork. It's already there, ready to fertile, ready to grow, and ready to continue that blessing.
Yeah, and in those early days, if we didn't have to play Teotopoulos so often, we'd have more wins. It'd be up over 1,700, right?
That's right, true. But, like people say, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
That's right. Yeah, that is right. That is right. Everybody healthy coming out of last night's game, going into the regional?
Well, we had Drew Woodrow, who broke his foot in the Day tournament area. Anyway, so that's why we were 10-2 at one time, and like, man, what happened to the Wolves? Well, we lost one of our better players, and that makes a big difference. And but I think he got a little banged up last night, turned his ankle, but hopefully that's okay. We're going to have practice here pretty soon. And then Nick Schaefer, we lost him a couple weeks ago with a dislocated finger. He was just really starting to come on as our sixth man off the bench. But other than that, I think we're healthy. I think that we're as healthy as we want to be, where we want to be. It's just like I said last night, we just we started out well, but we just kind of fizzled off, and we just didn't have that extra level, just extra passion, extra energy to finish it and get what we need to do to get a W on the road. But at the same time, Tuesday and Thursday, man, I thought we played as well as we were capable of playing, and I like our chances going in the regional.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Coach, I think there are several teams that have had several games here in the last couple of weeks. I seen a Carmi team play over at Hamilton County the other night, and those boys had played like 5 games in 7 days because of some makeup games and stuff, and they're not very deep on their bench, and those boys were just gassed. I mean, you could just see it. They were just running on fumes.
Yep, and it's that time of the year where you don't get to really fix things. You just got to tweak things and fine-tune things as far as the practice. But practice is more about getting your leg going, getting some more shooting going, but it's not about exerting yourself anymore. It's about saving those legs so you're ready for game days.
Yeah.
It's been like an NBA schedule, and I know we're not alone. Other teams are in the same boat, but people do need to understand that these kids are kids, and we condition them the best we possibly can. But at the same time, they leave it out there night in, night out, and they're still got to go to school the next day. So it's demanding, and we're asking a lot of them, but at the same time, it's very rewarding in itself.
Yeah, and the real world's going to ask a lot of them, too, when they get there.
Exactly, and they won't care if you've been up all night with your baby. You still got a job to do.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, as you prepare for Edwards County Monday night, what concerns you most about the Lions? Is it their size? Because they certainly have got it.
They have got some tremendous size, and they're just present some matchups nightmares as far as the Wallace kid who's able to step out and hit threes and also post up. A Smitler kid who's, he looks like, man, he's just going to be a solid post player, but, man, he can shoot that three. Big kid inside and steps outside. And then the Snifter kid who runs the point, has great floor vision, get to the rim when he wants to, has deep range. Then you forget about those two. You got Cowger, who's just kind of a deadly assassin, just kind of waits out there in the perimeter, and just when you don't guard him, bam, he puts them in there. And then you got the little guy, Tiger. He plays with everything he's got. He's only about 5'6", 5'8", but he's going to leave you everything out there. And he can, he's doing a good job running the point, I think, for them. He's kind of getting them slowed down. And he's able and capable of hitting those threes. So like I said, they have 5 guys they can put out there can shoot that long ball, and then you got the inside game going. So we got our work cut out for us. And then on the defense end, they don't make anything easy. I mean, obviously, if we hit shots from outside, we're going to have some great success. But what happens when that's not going? I mean, we got to be able to have another answer to that, and that's when they make it difficult for other teams.
Mm-hmm. Well, we will let you go because we know we got practice coming up later on to prepare for that game. And so we appreciate your time this morning, Coach, as always, and best of luck as you prepare for Edwards County next week in the regional, okay?
Hey, Randy, Danny, thank you so much, and God bless both of you.
Thank you so much.
Same to you.
Have a good weekend. Appreciate it.
All
Bye-bye.
right.
Head coach Phil Leib of the Flora Wolves, and tough loss, but I didn't realize that they had played 3 games this week. But, they got a win earlier in the week against Fairfield, a quality win against Olney. We didn't really go in detail about the win against Olney, but that Olney team's good, coached by Rob Flanagan, so they beat both Fairfield and Olney.
Well, he said they'd been on a 3-game win
streak.
streak.
And beat Paris before that. So, they're playing good basketball at the right time of year. I'd say last night it came down to they probably just gassed last night against Red Hill.
That'd be my guess.
Yeah, I think that's probably what happened because I would think they're a better team than Red Hill. But he'll have them ready to go on Monday night against Edwards County.
That'll be a good contest up there.
Yeah, really will. We got one more guest to go, and that is Coach Josh Bradley of the El Dorado Eagles. They are the champs of the Black Diamond Conference. We'll talk to him next, coming up on the Sports Couch.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Now is the time to get ready for the mowing season, and Ben's Lawn Service and Trailer Sales in Benton is the place to start. Ben's Lawn Service and Trailer Sales offers a full line of Skag commercial riding, stand-on, and walk-behind mowers with innovation and attention to quality that's second to none. Ben's Lawn Service and Trailer Sales backs what they sell with top-notch service, along with free delivery of your new Skag mower. Ben's Lawn Service and Trailer Sales is located at 605 North Main in Benton. Their phone number is 435-5296, and their website is benslawnservice.com.
Fairfield Memorial Hospital's Diabetes Education Program leads a diabetes support group on the first Tuesday of each month at 7 p.m. in the Fairfield Memorial Hospital Medical Arts Complex Community Education Room. It is a great way to stay up to date on the latest diabetes news and talk with people who you would relate with. So join other people with diabetes in taking the proper steps in managing the disease. To learn more, contact me, Mary McCulley, registered nurse and Fairfield Memorial Hospital's certified diabetes educator at 847-8231.
Hamilton County Flooring on the south side of the square in McLeansboro offers a full line of flooring, cabinets, and countertops for your home or business. Countertops or showers are available in granite, quartz, corian, custom marble, or ceramic tile. Their showroom includes a complete line of flooring available in ceramic tile, cork, bamboo, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and carpeting, including name brands such as Armstrong, Bruce, Marazzi, Mulligan, Shaw, and Tarkett. We thank Hamilton County Flooring in McLeansboro for their support. Welcome back to the Sports Couch. Here live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. Live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net and live audio streaming at WVYN.org. And also we'll say hello to those people listening on the Vine mobile app, too, that you can download for free. Just search for WVYN for that free Vine mobile app. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment. And last night in the Black Diamond Conference, a big win for the El Dorado Eagles as they close out the regular season with a 30-point victory over Edwards County, 63-33. The Eagles are the champions of the Black Diamond Conference. And they're the top seed in the upcoming regional next week as well. And on the phone with us is Josh Bradley, head coach of the Eagles. Good morning, Josh. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me. Doing fine.
You bet. Good to have you on the show. And, wow, you guys must really come out fired up last night, flexing your muscle against Edwards County. That's a pretty impressive win, 63-33.
Yeah, we kind of had a few games where we were shooting the ball a little bit too much outside and got back to getting the basketball back inside to Atterbury and Traxler and kind of just letting the game come to us. And we put a pretty nice 4 quarters together last night on senior night.
Well, and that's a good way to bounce back, too. I know you had a defeat earlier a while back here, losing to a very good, Murfreesboro team, I believe, right?
Yeah.
But, hey, no shame in losing to Murfreesboro. That's a 3A school, and they're very athletic. But I'm sure you learned a lot from that loss, and now you bounce back.
Yeah. We learned quite a bit from the Murfreesboro loss. The Massac County loss on Tuesday night was kind of big one. We just didn't shoot the ball well. You go 5 for 20 from the free throw line, and they go 18 for 21, and you lose by 3 points. That kind of kind of sums everything up. That's what we told our kids. The ball just didn't go in the hole, and some nights that happens. But we settled for too many outside shots and didn't get the ball inside, and that was kind of our focus coming back into Edwards County and getting ready for the regional. And we got the ball back inside, moved the ball a little better, and were able to build a big lead on a pretty good team and keep that comfortable for 4 quarters last night.
Well, you come into the regional, and, of course, you're going to be sitting there for a night or so watching as you're going to get the winner of the Fairfield-Hamilton County game. You're familiar with both teams, of course, and that game's kind of a coin flip. That game could go either way because they've split their meetings this year, but you come in as the 1 seed, and deservedly so, and I assume you got to be happy with the way the brackets and everything has gone, huh?
Yeah. I don't know if we're happy or not. We kind of think I know we're the 1 seed, but if you really look at things, the number 2 seed is going to play the 9 or the 11. The number 4 seed, if Edwards County wins, is going to play the number 10 seed, and we're the number 1 overall seed, and we may end up playing the host, which is the number 7 seed on their home floor. So we may play the toughest team out of all the top, 2 or 3 ranked teams, and we may have to play them on their home floor.
Oh, that's good. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
We're not quite sure how the state did that, but it is what it is. We know both teams very well. Got a chance to play them both, and we'll get the scout Monday night, and then hopefully Tuesday night we'll have a tough test to try to beat one of those teams for a third time in the same year, which is never easy to do.
Yeah, everybody healthy at this time of season for you after the game last night?
Yeah, we've been able to stay healthy. We've been able to avoid this flu bug that's been going around through a lot of these schools. So far, knock on wood, we're pretty healthy right now.
Well, Coach, your team looks like a team that's poised and built for a postseason run. I know there's a lot of expectations there. You've got a nice, well-rounded team. When you sit here and look at this, it's going to take a pretty good effort to beat your team from one of these teams. But still, you got to show up, you got to play, you got to make shots, you got to rebound. You're always scared, aren't you?
Yeah, always. And we've told our kids that for the last few weeks. Going forward here, you got to do the little things. We build everything that we do on our defense and our rebounding. And if we feel like if we do those things well every night, then we've got a chance to win. And then hopefully, you just keep shooting the ball with some confidence and shots start falling. And if we do that, we think we'll be a very hard out in the regional.
You've got some young kids that's coming off the bench and giving you some very valuable minutes. So
yes.
That should help your team on down this line.
Yeah. The last few weeks that's really came along. Aiden Whitlock as a freshman and Ladea Shoemaker, a sophomore, kids that hadn't played a lot of varsity basketball for us over the course of the year, have really picked up their minutes and played very well for us down the stretch. And Joe Mayberry comes in and provides us a spark offensively off the bench. So right now, the last week or so, we're 8 deep, probably for the first time all season long. And when you're trying to make a postseason run, you've got to have at least 8 guys you can count on.
Well, you never know when somebody's going to pick up a couple little cheap fouls or something and have to come and join you over there on the bench. And to know that you've got some capable replacements sitting there has to give the whole team more confidence.
It does. There's just like you said, a whole lot more comfortability about things that you put a guy in. You've got confidence that guy can go in and do the job, and you don't get worse. In fact, you may get better because we can pick up a little bit more athleticism at times, depending on who they go in for.
Well, you finished your season last night. You'll be opening up there on Tuesday night. What's some of your concerns going into that up there? I guess you all kind of already touched on that a little bit, playing possibly Fairfield on their home floor.
Yeah, just when you got two familiar teams, and they're probably in our conference our two biggest rivals. El Dorado Hamco is a big rival. No matter what, you can kind of throw records out the door there. That's a rival game, and if you play Fairfield on their own floor with the way football's been, with everything, that's maybe our biggest rival in the conference. So to have that kind of atmosphere the first round of a regional, maybe not be the one thing you would want as the number one seed right off the bat, but then again, you're going to have to play somebody, and it doesn't matter when. You got to be ready to play 4 quarters of basketball and just take it one game at a time.
That win last night, does that raise you to 27-2? Is that right?
Yeah. 27-2.
Yep.
We set a school record, which we just brought to our attention last night, with 55 wins over a 2-year period, which was the most wins ever in our school history over 2 years.
Wow.
So just another good accomplishment for these young guys.
Absolutely. That's a real feather in the cap, and, of course, a perfect 10-0 in the Black Diamond Conference, and you got to be proud of that, too.
Yeah, exactly, and that was the goal. We know when we set the season that we wanted to win every game in the conference, and so that was just one of those things to be able to do last night, and just another good feat for these young guys.
Well, Coach, to go into other people's gyms, I know you and Carmi have had a couple pretty tough battles throughout the season here, and sometimes you'd just soon be lucky as good, because it takes some luck to make that happen.
That's exactly right. When we're 27-2, and in order for that to happen, there's got to be luck along the way. Not every night are you going to have your best game. You got to have a ball bounce your way, get a call here, have something happen late in the game. And like you said, sometimes it is better to be lucky than good on a given night.
Sometimes it's the same simple thing as a 50-50 ball that you get somewhere along the line that you get a bucket out of that. It may have been in the second or third quarter, but people don't realize it. Everybody wants to look at the last minute of a game, but there's so many things happen before that that it's 32 minutes of good basketball to win.
Yeah, exactly right. That's something we talk about to our kids all the time. We put that on the board as one of the keys to the game, 50-50. Being the first guy diving on the floor for a loose ball, giving yourself an extra shot on an offensive rebound. If you do those small things enough over 4 quarters, if it's a close basketball game, you can find yourself on the winning side of that more times than not. And then, like you said, something that may happen in the first or second quarter, it's never the thing that happened last in the fourth quarter.
Well, and you mentioned that the game against Massac County the other night that you lost, you were only 5 out of 20 from the free throw line. If you just make 50% of those, you make 10 out of 20, you win that game, because that was a 3-point game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Exactly. We held them to 10 field goals. That was before stuff. I mean, defensively, we did everything we wanted to do, and we got every shot we wanted to get. Everything was just a little short, and we had guys with a 1-point lead. We missed 6 straight free throws with Atterbury, Oglesby, and Traxler at the line. The 3 guys we probably won at the line, and it just seemed like the first miss, the second got a little tighter, and it got a little tighter, and everything was a little short. And it was kind of the first time we've seen something like that happen in 2 years with these guys, and it was kind of a good refocuser for these guys. They had 2 really good days of practice, played a little bit better last night, and it may have been one of those things that was a blessing in disguise for us going forward.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Coach, sometimes it's never good to have a loss, but sometimes there are good losses.
Yeah, exactly. And at this time of the season, late, a refocuser right before the regional, last game at home, senior night, that's maybe not the worst thing that happened, especially, it's a 3A team. They're not in our conference. So in the end, it was just a basketball game that didn't mean a whole lot other than, you want to win every night you step out on the floor. But sometimes when you've had a lot of success, you learn a little bit more by losing than you do by winning.
Well, we want to congratulate you again on winning the Black Diamond Conference with a perfect mark at 10-0. And, again, congratulations on the win last night over Edwards County. And I know you're excited about waiting to see who you're going to play on Tuesday night, either Fairfield or Hamilton County at that Fairfield Regional. And best of luck as you prepare for that, all right?
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Bye-bye. That is head coach of the El Dorado Eagles, Josh Bradley, and, set a school record for, 55 wins and back-to-back
across from
combined in 2 seasons, yeah. So 28 last year and 27 this year, 55
and
wins.
They're not done.
No, they're not done. They're not done. They want they've got much higher aspirations. Interesting, though. You know, they shot 5 out of 20 from the free throw line against Massac County. That definitely came down to be the difference in a 3-point game.
That'll get you beat every
Boy,
night.
it will.
I
Boy.
promise you,
Yeah.
that will get you beat.
Yeah. Hey, anything else we want to touch upon? The Cardinals are at spring training right now.
Boy, we're piling up the retread pieces.
Yeah,
aren't
they got Bud Norris. I don't know.
Jason Mott.
I'm just not
Mojica.
I just don't know about that starting rotation. You know, I would love to sit here and say that. Thank you. Didn't hang that phone up. I'd love to sit here and say that Adam Wainwright's going to be good this year, but hey, come on now. Let's be honest. Last year, he certainly had lost a lot of zip off his fastball, and he had to try to pitch with finesse last year. And, you know,
you got a guy coming from Japan.
Yeah, there's just a lot of
that
question
didn't have
marks.
a lot of success here before.
No, just a lot of question marks on this Cardinal team. They have made a change in the outfield a little bit as they are moving the center fielder over to right field. That's official now.
Yeah.
And that's to try to save his legs a little bit. So, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. They play their first game, spring training game, next Friday. Next Friday is the first spring training game down at Jupiter.
It'll be interesting season. Some teams in their division have done some impact moves.
Oh, yeah, Milwaukee.
And I don't think the Cardinals have done enough moves to I'm predicting third place right now.
Well, and the crazy thing about it is, Danny, there are still some free agents sitting out there that are unsigned.
A lot of them.
A lot of free agents. I think there's something like 75 free agents that have no place to play. They have no spring training to report to yet.
Yeah, they got their own.
Yeah, that's right.
Behind locked doors that nobody can get into.
Yeah, they're at home with the wife and the kids. But boy, it's amazing. The owners have kind of clamped down and they've said, you know what, we're just not gonna write and sign these long-term contracts. And I think all the owners are kind of in that mindset. They're just not going to do it.
And this luxury tax.
Yeah.
You know, there's several of the teams that are pretty free spenders that are bumping that figure, and it's took him out of play.
Right.
They evidently that's hurt them enough in the pocketbook the last couple of years. They're not wanting to go there, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. There's just a whole lot of what if.
Yeah. Jake Arrieta unsigned. He was offered a deal by the Cubs and turned it down, so then they signed Yu Darvish. I was surprised they gave Darvish a 6-year deal. That's a
crazy deal.
Yeah, that's been the only long-term thing we've seen in this offseason, really. And that's a questionable move by the Cubs. We'll see if it pans out for them or not. But there's
it may be all right the first 2 years here.
Yeah.
But I'm going to bet you year 5 and 6 ain't so pleasant.
Probably not. And, you know, you still got Lance Lynn out there. I mean, so many free agents, not just free agent pitchers, but free agent hitters, too, that are unsigned.
Martinez, he's...
JT Martinez.
Him and Boston's kind of butting heads right now.
Yeah.
Boston's just... They've kind of dug in there also, so be interesting to see.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, hey, it's 10 o'clock. We are out of time. I want to thank everybody for listening and watching this morning, and thanks to all of our guests that joined us on the Sports Couch. 90 minutes of great local sports talk. Let's remind everyone that, Danny, you will be at NCOE on Monday night to bring a first-round action of the regional down there. So if you're wanting to follow the Wayne City Indians, you can do that on our sister website, foxesfans.net. Danny will have that. You'll be able to listen to the Fairfield Mules in their game against Hamilton County on Monday night here on the Vine, and there will also be some arrangements made for some other coverage of the Mules as well. So anyway, it's going to be a fun postseason. It all begins Monday night.
Monday night, win or go home.
That's right. It's that time of year. That's it for a wrap on the Sports Couch. Have yourself a great weekend, everyone. It's snowing out there right now. Wow, where'd that come from? Stay warm, everyone. Thanks for listening. Have a good weekend. Goodbye.
This is your home for best